We're in Riverside. It's been windy all day. There's a little bit of a storm going on. But in the distance, there's these high-pitched, screeching, wailing sounds. Oh, man. How long has this been going on?
About 5 minutes? 5-10 minutes?
At least 5 minutes. This is not the it is not air raid sirens.
The video that you just listened to was emailed to me by a man and his wife who just this past Sunday, March 5th, were relaxing in their home, and the time was about 7:50 p.m., so almost 8 o'clock. The man was downstairs, and his wife came down to get him in order to bring him outside to listen to this very strange, very loud, harmonic almost, but also eerie, strange sound that seemed to emanate from above, but from a source that, as far as they could tell, could not be detected. So the man who sent this over goes by the name Chris. And this was taken, this video, although I know there's not much to see due to it being in the evening, but he sent me an email, and I'll read it to you here. It says, quote, "Here is a video taken with my wife's cell phone from my back porch. It was later in the night, so there really isn't anything to see, but the noise is unmistakable. It was like a huge orchestra tuning itself, sliding up and down between two notes in an eerie, almost ethereal sound. It reminds me a great deal of the other hums and sounds from the sky that have been happening across the globe for the past 40 years, but this is the first time that I have ever experienced them myself." Again, this was taken in Riverside, Missouri, and we live about 10 minutes outside downtown Kansas City. So, I got on the phone with Chris because I wanted to learn more about this. A couple days ago, we posted a video about these mysterious boom sounds that have for a long time been occurring across the world, as well as the United States, but had occurred again after a bit of quiet over the past year in Arizona. And there was a news story about this. We posted it in a video. I'll put the link to that down in the video description. But basically, people were hearing these mystery booms. And if you're not familiar with this phenomenon, it's been going on for the past 40 years. And what it amounts to is just, as the title states, it's these strange sounds. Sometimes they come in the form of booms. Other times they sound like machinery grinding above you in the sky. And other times it's very harmonic, almost like a symphony, like we've heard here. But the origin has, for the most part, always been unknown. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, when YouTube was really gaining popularity, people from all over the world started posting videos where they had captured these strange, many times eerie and frightening sounds that they had recorded. And after a lot of controversy, even NASA finally spoke out. I guess they had one of their spokeswomen come out and try to glaze over this entire phenomenon by saying, basically, listen, this is not aliens, there's nothing invisible above you. This is simply the natural symphony of the earth. To which I'm sure most people, especially the ones who have heard some of these truly frightening sounds, collectively didn't breathe a sigh of relief. Because people know what they hear. And while it is true that sometimes you will hear strange sounds that may emanate from earthquakes, storms, or in some cases even particles interacting with our atmosphere from the sun. But often, and what NASA will tell you, and they'll confirm this, is that humans, for the most part, cannot hear these sounds, as in they are not audible to the human ear. This symphony of the planet, as they like to call it. And so obviously, people who were hearing those sounds said, okay, well then these must be from something else, because we can clearly hear them, and they are very loud. And I've spoken to many of these people, and I get countless emails. Ever since I posted that video a few days ago about the mystery sounds in Arizona, I have gotten probably upwards of 100 emails from people thanking me for posting that video, who have also heard these strange sounds that would seem to emanate not from the ground, but from an unknown source in the skies. Now, before we go any further, I just want to play this one more time. So here is the clip again, captured over Riverside, Missouri.
We're in Riverside. It's been windy all day. There's a little bit of a storm going on. But in the distance, there's these high-pitched, screeching, wailing sounds. Oh, man. How long has this been going on?
About 5 minutes? 5-10 minutes?
At least 5 minutes. This is not the it is not air raid sirens.
All right, so it's very, very eerie. And as I mentioned earlier, some of these sounds will take on the form of what sounds like machinery grinding above you. And I've spoken to some people who have flat out said, it sounded, not only did it sound, but I felt the presence of something massive moving above me, to the point where it shook their home, it shook their cars, it set off their alarm systems, it caused their animals to run away and hide. And when I say it sounds like there's a giant machine moving through the sky that obviously no one can see, I really mean it. So to demonstrate that, I want to play you guys a clip that was posted back in 2011 where we can hear these machinery sounds. And this was captured over Kiev in the Ukraine. So go ahead and give this a listen, and we'll talk more in just a second. Alright, so that piece of audio and video was recorded from a 5-floor building located in Kiev. And as you heard, this sound is very, very different from the piece of video that I played from Chris in Missouri. Very different. Couldn't be more different. But it's a perfect example of what some of these machine-like sounds sound like. And when you read as many emails as I have and spoke with as many people, and I spoke with Chris, by the way, I gave him a phone call because I just wanted to get as much info as I could about this, just to see how he felt. You know, it was very eerie for both he and his wife. They'd never heard something like this before. All right, so this is not something that just naturally occurs every day. And we can just hear it and say, oh, that's just the Earth Symphony, as NASA told us, as Never a Straight Answer told us. But these are isolated events, and from what I've seen and heard, you cannot simply blame them all on earthquakes, or the symphony of the planet, which should not even be audible to the human ear. Now, it's no secret that in the past, I have even posted videos speaking to these sounds and the fact that we have captured what appear to be massive machines using what looks like some sort of cloaking mechanism. And no, I'm not trying to be crazy or funny here. I'm just telling you what I've seen. The photographs that have come into me, the video. There was a piece of video that I featured a year or so back where someone had heard some strange sounds and could have swore that there was something massive moving or hovering above her home in the clouds, hovering over the entire area. And so she pointed her camera up to the clouds and she sent it over to me. And they said, Tyler, I'm telling you, there is something there. Call it an intuition, call it a sixth sense, whatever you want. Something was up there. And surely enough, when I analyzed the footage, there were a few select seconds in that video where we detected something sitting in the clouds. And it was obviously invisible, but what had happened is that there was kind of an indirect revealing of this thing due to its effect on the surrounding clouds. It looked just like a massive piece of machinery. It was cylindrical in nature, like a cigar shape, and you're seeing that here. Now, I've also posted a host of videos in the past as well, capturing UFOs, where again, someone sent me a piece of night footage, we'll say, and again, indicated to me this strange sort of awareness that something was out there in the sky, sitting there. And sure enough, many times I would analyze and I would brighten this nighttime footage. It's pitch black. And in some cases, you would get stationary objects sitting there in the darkness. Sometimes they would be cylindrical, other times they would be in a triangular shape, completely blending in with the night sky. You would never know that they were there unless you actually analyze the footage. And so there's likely a ton of video footage out there where people have felt these very strange feelings, took their camera out, recorded the dark night sky, and thought nothing else of it. You know, people who know nothing about UFO channels like mine. And, you know, the videos just sit on their cameras, and we never get a chance to see it. So that's one of the reasons why I am proud to say we just surpassed 800,000 subscribers, on our way to 1 million. And, you know, I'm not saying I know where these sounds come from, but what I do know is that I get a hell of a lot of people emailing me about them, relaying to me these strange feelings of not being alone, of sensing that there's something above them or in the distance that these sounds are emanating from. In many cases, feeling that there's a fleet of objects passing right over their heads, but that they can't see, and this sound will follow them before finally disappearing in the distance, so it really will sound like something is passing right above them. Much like you would hear with a train passing by. You can hear the train coming in the distance. The sound grows louder and louder until it passes right next to you. The sound at that point is at its loudest, and as it finally passes by and starts heading into the distance, you start hearing the train less and less. And that is what is happening. That is what these people are experiencing. So the question here is, and there's been many theories, are these sounds coming from some sort of cloaked object in our skies? Is the sound dimensional in nature? Or could this be a result of some sort of HARP experimentations, weather manipulation, stuff like that? But of course, as always, I mean, I will leave it up to you guys. The fact of the matter is that there are a lot of topics that I have no idea what's behind them. And this phenomenon is one of those things that we simply don't have enough data that we could definitely say what they are coming from. But I wanted to post up this new footage, see if anybody over Missouri or anywhere else for that matter have heard similar sounds, experienced a similar presence of something above you in the sky. And if you have, shoot me an email, and if you have footage, definitely get in contact with me, and we'll put this together one puzzle piece at a time. Alright, so thank you guys for stopping by today. Big thanks to Chris and his wife. And as always, stay tuned. I've got a lot more coming. I'm working on another video as we speak, which I will have up either later tonight or first thing tomorrow. So thanks again. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you back in just a bit.